should be fun. Yes, we should read because we want to learn new things. Yes, we should read to expand our vocabulary and to be able to have better conversations and to learn about the world in general, but it should also be fun. Because baby, y'all be so concerned about how much you're reading, why you can't read certain stuff, blah blah, that you forget that there are levels to reading. So let me fix it for you. Hi friends, welcome back to Shelby and the Book Club. I am Shelby Monet, and in today's video I'm going to talk about some books that will get you back into the groove of reading. I really think that there is this false pretense that reading can only be fun or it can only be educational, and that is not true. You can learn from all different types of books. Books can just be fun sometimes, and both are still considered literature. I think there are some people that watch bookish content creators and feel like they need to be recording how many books they're reading. They need to be reading things like Toni Morrison in order to be considered a real reader, or they need to be reading like all of these deep things to really be consuming literature, and that just is inaccurate. So I'm here to give you some books that kind of do both. Some of them only do one thing, right? Some of them are only fun. Some of them are fun to read, thought-provoking, and you can learn something from them. So if you'd like to hear it, here it go. Before we get started, remember that everything that I talk about in the book is linked down below in what I like to call the underneath a bar. Okay? I call it the underneath a bar because it is underneath the video. You see what I'm saying? So when you're going to add things to your cart, you should be clicking my links down below because that supports me. It helps me keep this channel up and running. And yeah, let's get into it for real this time. Let's jump right into it. Boomtown. Boomtown is by Nick Stone. This you will actually have to pre-order. It comes out in October. I will put the official pub date on the screen somewhere. This was so much fun to read. Like, I didn't want to read anything else other than this. I flew through this book, but also was pacing myself because I didn't want it to end. Boomtown tells a story of Lyric, who is a manager at a strip club called Boomtown. She used to be a dancer, but she had to stop dancing for some medical reasons, and while she was gone, her headlining partner Lucky went missing. Lucky girl got into some mess, okay, but we don't know what actually happened to her. And then a girl walks in who her dance name is Charm. Charm comes in. She looks exactly like Lucky. It freaks Lyric out, and it makes Lyric want to figure out what happened to her friend. It is very fast paced. It is intertwined like nothing I've really read before, like how all of these characters know each other, and all of this is super, super amazing. This was such a good time. A couple of things. A book doesn't have to be like written by this literary god in order for it to be good. This is an example of this. It's not that the writing in this is bad, but you can tell that Nick Stone normally writes YA and middle grade books, right? That is her niche. That is where she is comfortable. And you can tell in this book because there are bits and pieces where she over explains things. But I think if you go into this with the knowledge that this is her first adult fiction, you will be okay. You'll be okay. You can just have a good time reading the book, girl. Sister, you don't have to be this literary critic and be so hard on authors sometimes and think that there has to be like all of this otherness. There's so much going on in this book. There's so much that you can talk about. I cannot wait for more people to read this. I think this will be on a lot of people's favorites for the year. You need this. Next, if you've been anywhere near my channel before, you know how I feel about Beverly Jenkins. Of course, I had to talk to you guys about Topaz. Topaz is not only informative, It's funny, it's spicy. There's so much that you can learn from this book, but you're also going to be giggling and kicking your feet. I think this book is a perfect example of the borderline between really good writing and it's fun to read, okay? And it's romance. I think with romance, we get caught up in the idea that like, oh, romance is cheesy and it's like, it can't be informative, or it can't be, like, if it's spicy, then that means it's porn, because y'all are unwell in the head. There are just all these misconceptions, and I feel like Beverly Jenkins bends that on its head. So Topaz tells the story of Kate, who is a spy. Mama is trying to uncover this scheme, and on the way, she meets Dick's Wild Horse. Dick's Wild Horse is a big old, tall, fine black man who is a marshal in Oklahoma's Indian country. He's Seminole. So, a black Seminole. There's so much information about Indian country, black Seminoles, and just what life was like at that time that you almost forget that this is a love story. It's funny. Like, Dixon Wild Horse is... I want him for myself. I want him for myself. Dixon Wild Horse is the bomb. But Kate is also funny too. Like her family history, the information we learn about her father. This book is just so good. You're going to have a good time, but you're also going to learn something. Okay? Both. Then, romance. Again, a lot of these books are romance or talk about love in some way, shape, or form. That's not on purpose. I really just want to show you that romance and a lot of different genres are genre bending, right? They do multiple things at the same time. This is one of the first romances I read to get me back into reading. Romance, reading in general, it is only for the weak by Natasha Bishop. This is a messy book. It's fun to read. It's spicy. Rome is everybody's book boyfriend, even though he belonged to me. But I'll let you heifers think what y'all want to think. This was so good. It tells the story of a girl who is going to her sister's destination wedding, but her sister is marrying her ex-boyfriend. And she doesn't really have an issue with this because she realizes that her sister and this dude are better fit for each other. She's actually had a crush on his best friend for a very long time. And we find out that they both have had a crush on each other. And Rome just goes out of his way to make her feel comfortable, to show her that she is cared for, to show her that she deserves love in so many different ways. This was absolutely awesome. Again, this is a book where you want to take your own morals out of it. Everything doesn't have to be following your particular moral compass in order for it to be good or for you to have a good time reading it. Okay. I've seen so many comments about how, oh, my sister, I would have beat my sister's ass, or I would have X, Y, and Z. Baby, just read the book and get to the part where Rome got her folded up like a pretzel. Next, Akoiki Emezi. It took me such a long time to read You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty because I was one of those super serious stuck-up readers, right? It starts off with the main character having an affair in a bathroom of this party, which we all grown here, as long as you're doing it safely. Have an affair, girl. Be an adult, have an affair. Let that man, woman, they, them fold you up and crack your back, okay? At first I was just like, what could I possibly get from a book like this? When I tell you the deeper level of conversation in this book is so good, Akoiki Emezi just knows how to write a book. So, female main character is healing emotionally from a car accident where she lost her husband. And she obviously is the only one that survived. She has some survivor's guilt, and she's finally starting to date again. As she is dating, she ends up going to this island with this guy. to meet his family. They're supposed to stay there for a little while, and she ends up having an affair with his father. And it is all of this conversation about how your past really dictates what you do moving forward, right? As much as we like to think like, oh, I've healed from those things, I've gotten over it, those things are not impacting me. They really are. And sometimes you need to be with someone that has similar experiences to you, not to trauma bond, because I feel like y'all learned that therapy terminology and y'all like to throw it around everywhere. But sometimes you need to be with someone that understands where you have been and has walked a similar path in order for you to be able to love again, right? And it may come in this unorthodox package, but that doesn't mean that it's not the right situation or not the right person for you. This phenomenal, fun to read, well written. Akwaeke and Mezi, all of their books are phenomenal, from YA all the way to their literary fiction. Phenomenal. Go read it. Now, this next book, y'all gonna be like, Shelby, why are you talking about that book? You didn't like it. I did not like it. But me not liking a book doesn't mean that I can't realize that it should be recommended for other people. So, Harlem Rhapsody. This is a mess. And sometimes you need a mess. Sometimes you need messiness in order to get deep into a book, right? I feel like this is a book for people that want to get into historical fiction and don't necessarily know where to start, because the writing is not bad. I personally did not like the representation of Jessie Redmond Fawcett. I did not like that for my own reasons, right? But that doesn't mean that this book can't be useful for others. So it tells mostly the affair that Jessie Redmond Fawcett had with W.E.B. Du Bois. And it talks about like her life, but also how this affair really shaped her career in the literary world. I can see people enjoying this. I know a lot of people that did enjoy this. But the reason that it's on this list is, again, it's messy. It pulls you in, and you're getting so much information that you probably wouldn't know. There are a lot of things that people don't know about Jessie Redmond Fawcett that they should know, because she is one of our literary greats. So, Harlem Rhapsody, you should read it. And then go on my Instagram page and look for the video of me cussing out W.E.B. Du Bois, because the way the women are like, oh, but he was so smart and he was an intellectual. If I could go back in time and tell Jessie to stand up, I would. But you see, books should incite emotion. Whether negative or positive, it should incite emotion. So, read Harlem Rhapsody and then come back. Just come back and tell me how you felt, because my God, today. Last but certainly not least, one of my favorite books this year, The Ghost of Gwendolyn Montgomery by Clarence A. Haynes. This is a debut for him. My God, this was so much fun to read. It tells the story of Gwendolyn Montgomery, who is this, a baddie, okay? Mama is high up in ranking in her position at this PR firm. She has turned her life completely around, and she is hosting all of these events, and then there's weird stuff happening. And by weird stuff, I mean there was like blood on the screen. It was just weird. And she is trying to figure out why this spiritual attack is happening. What is happening? She understands that it's a spiritual attack. It feels very personal to her. So she is trying to figure out what's going on. Alongside that, we meet a owner of a botanica who is very deep into the spiritual world, so much so that he may or may not be hunching on a ghost. And he recognizes that everything that's going on, because of his spiritual powers, he recognizes that there's something going on in the spirit realm, but there's also something, like that same something is connected to the things that are happening in the world too. And he tries to figure it out, but what he realizes is that his long lost cousin has something to do with it, and they need her powers to stop everything that's going on. It's funny, it's glam, it's kind of horror, right? It's not, ooh, spooky, you gonna have to sleep with the night lights on, right? It's not that kind of horror, but it is like creepy, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? Except nobody in here is a teenager. It gives that kind of vibe, right? Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but black and not super dark. So that kind of horror, where if you want to venture into horror, you want something that's spooky but not gonna like scare you, this is the book for you. There is also a deeper level of conversation here, right? This is an opportunity for you to have fun reading something, but also have something that is going to be thought-provoking. This was absolutely good. You need to get this. And Clarence A. Haynes is still like on book tour here and there. If you get to hear him speak, you should absolutely go. He's so nice. You have to go. You have to go listen to him speak. And that is my list, friends. If you're going to read any of these, let me know which ones you're going to read. If you've read any of them already, tell me what you think. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, comment down below something that you think is a good introduction to reading, or that will get people back into reading. And without further ado, if no one has told you today, I love you. You're kind, you're smart, you are important, if to no one else, to me. Bye, friends.